All right, so for this problem, we're going to, and I haven't solved this yet, so I'm going to solve it live here, is return a new array consisting of elements which are multiples of their own index in input array. So you're given an input array, so let's, for instance, 22, -6, 32, 82, 9, and 26, and we want them to be multiples of the position that they're in. So for instance, and obviously we want, so if length is, so not including the first element. So for instance, the second element here is a multiple of -6, so it works. The third, 32, is not a multiple of 3. 82 is not a multiple of 4, I don't think anyways. Let me check. Yeah, 82 is not a multiple of 4. 9, or is 32 is a multiple. Okay, so 32 is a multiple of 3, I guess. Let's check. No. Let's check. Oh, not including the first one because the first one's 0. So their index is, so, okay, that makes sense. So 32, 2, 82, 3, 9, 4, 25, 5. Okay. So what we're going to do is um, if, so we're going to do a for loop. For let element of array, we're going to create another array, const result. Um, an if statement within there. We're going to make an if statement within there. Say if element is equal to element, how to check. So basically we're going to see how check if something is a multiple of something with JavaScript. Yeah. So if element let's see here. Actually, we might want to do a for, it's a regular for loop. Let I equal 0. I is less than or equal to less than array length, then I plus plus. Okay. So next, what we're gonna do is um result if, so for that loop, if um if, yeah, we can do this. So if array at I is divided by I is equal to 0, result dot push array at I. That will probably work. Let's check it out. And then we're going to return result. Okay. So it worked for a lot of cases here. What it didn't work for is this one, which, let's see. Okay, we have to create another if statement. If array at I is equal to 0 and array and I is equal to 0, and we're gonna do result dot push 0. And we're actually going to move this to the front. Okay, now let's check that out. That worked. I cleared all cases for the test anyways. It might not work for the submission, but basically what it does is we have an array and then we create another array, but we don't put anything in the array yet. And we do a for loop that iterates over the first array. And every time that there is an element in the first array that has okay, let me see if I can explain this clearly. Any element in this array that when divided by its index, the index that it's at. So starting with 0, 1, 2. So if it's the second number, it'd be 1. It's 1 less. So 0 is the first index. 2 is 1. So 0 is the first index is 0. The second index. So I'll put it out like this. So the first index is 0. So I I is equal to the place it's at minus 1. So if it's at 0, if it's at the first place, it's 0. If it's at the second place, it's 1. You'll get used to it the more you mess around with it. But so for its index, we take its index divided by the number at that index divided by its index. If it's divisible by 0, or it's divisible if it's divisible by it, if there is no remainder when you divide it by it, you add that to this new array that we're creating, because it's then it would be it's consisting of a multiple. That means it's a multiple when it's divided by that number, and it doesn't produce a a um a remainder. That means that it's a true multiple. So that's good. And so we push every version of that to this result array, and then we return that result array. Let's test it. Yes, it worked for all cases. So that's how you do that. Thanks for watching.